Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. It's Sleepy here. Hope you are all doing very well and taking care of yourself, of course. Today, going back to do some video game content, and this is a game that, I've played many hours of. This game in Trails in the Sky, first chapter, which is essentially it's the remake of the, I think it came out on the PSP back in the 2006 year, I believe. So this is my very first Trails game ever, and I know this game has it's a long running series, many different games, multiple stories. Well, I guess they're connecting stories, right? Been interested in Trails for quite some time, and I thought now this is the best way to get into the Trails games. And what can I say? Like I said before, I've played, I think, about 50, maybe more hours now by now. A bit less, so this is kind of like a pre-recorded footage I have here. One, because I want to just enjoy myself without having to talk whilst making a video out of this, and then just using that pre-recorded video to just do like a voice over the top. So hopefully you like this kind of style, or either way, it's good for me to then just be immersed in the actual game, and I don't have to worry about missing out bits, and hopefully I can then just look at the my overall gameplay experience as I talk through this footage. So thanks for watching, do bear with me. So, friends, do sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Please, if you enjoy this content, make sure to like and consider subscribing. That will obviously support me a long way. So, let's get into the game, shall we? I just mentioned that I'm going through a lot of these multiple different settings just to make my experience the way I like it. So yeah, this game has a lot of settings and little toggles that you do to make the visuals, the actual gameplay experience to your liking. So really nice touch that developers of Falcom have implemented in this game. So if you haven't played this game and you're wondering whether to get into it, I would highly recommend this game. I think it's definitely worth your time for newcomers to JRPGs or Trails games. Okay, so we're starting off with normal difficulty and starting off with the intro. This is the one of the main protagonists, Estelle. I think she's about 10, maybe 11 years older. Could be 12, but set in the past. And Estelle is I actually really do like. I understand why a lot of fans do like Estelle. They have a very strong female character. She's got very she's not like a brat, but you may think she's a brat at first. She's definitely got this. She's not cocky either, but I feel like she's kind of determined and focused. She can be funny as well, and a bit of a klutz at times, but she's very efficient with fighting prowess. But also she's got a nice little. She's very family orientated. So she's kind of like a tomboy. So kind of tomboyish with some girly charms here and there, but what links to that to be more like a dominant character and kind of like a leader, but no, she's very charming actually. So in this game, like in most JRPGs, you can have different languages for the voice, and most of this game is voiced. And I'm sticking with the English VA. Normally I don't. I think the English, it's my first time playing this game, so I want to stick with English so that I can appreciate the story whilst listening to character interactions. I think the English voice is quite strong in general. I wasn't sure at first with Estelle's voice, but I think it goes away after maybe about 10-15 minutes. I kind of get used to it, and I kind of do appreciate. I think it fits her character personality quite well. As you can see here, just talking about the stick of love giant. Oh, you notice the very anime-like expressions here, which I like anime in general, so of course I might be biased, but I think it works really well here. It's not too in your face, but just adds a bit more extra panache, I guess you could say. But no, Estelle, you can see she's very quite scary inside, even for strangers. But yeah, this boy is the second protagonist. She's still admiring his amber eyes. Not too sure why that's a big thing, but it's not like every character's red eyes, or maybe they do. Yeah, I've noticed that still, and the guy, of course, then has red eyes, so maybe they used to have red eyes. So maybe this boy is special. Yeah, just like the whole kind of visuals here, this kind of soft lighting, the very soft background environment, but especially the character models done in this very nice cel-shaded style. Really shows through the hair as well. You see the hair, nice details coming through. Also the kind of clothing you see here, and the colours just pop as well. The colours just pop. There's a nice contrast between the characters. And Estelle just did a flying wrestling kick to so you can say, yeah, it's definitely like if you don't anime, then you may not like this, but I think if you like RPGs, JRPGs, then I don't think you're gonna mind it too much. So still, she rocks like a pole, like a weapon, or bow staff, even. So this boy, I forgot to mention, is So she's asking what his name is. Well, it's Joshua, so that's a quick spoiler. It's Joshua, yeah. He's got amber eyes. So I wonder if that's a main story thing that's important later on. Maybe something special about Joshua. When it comes from a line or, I don't know, some nefarious characters later on, or he's part of a special secret clan of fighters or ancient beings. Okay, so now cutscene is finished. Yeah. Just be aware the intro may be slightly long, but I think the story is nice and very kind of relaxed. I love this FMV style, showing off the character still in adult, teen form. So I think 16. I think they're both 16. Could be slightly older. It gives a nice, cheerful adventure, gives an overall impression of what to expect from this game. When I was watching this FMV, reminds me a lot of it's a game called Eternal Sonata. If you know, it kind of gives me that kind of vibe. It's kind of like cheerful, colourful, vibrant world. Mostly just feels really nice to play. And makes you want to learn more what all these characters, all these different environments. And this airship, of course. God, I love airships in JRPGs. These characters look so cool. So it's just the visuals, like I said, the cel-shaded visuals, just really, I think Falcon really, they absolutely nailed the kind of whole look, which I really appreciate. And definitely, I always do the bottom right, I've got this like the little loading screen with the sprite of the original game, so it's a nice little touch. Maybe you see, what's his name? Claude. Is it Claude? Cassius, sorry. Cassius is the name of this guy cooking eggs. I'm not an egg. I don't like eggs, but it's nice to see food in game. So skip a few years now, and we are seeing the teen version of it still. Now I find out the male protagonist is called Joshua. So we're about to hear the music, but you hear this like flute sound, which reminds me, kind of got this like Narnia, not Narnia, like Studio Ghibli films of Castle in the Sky, that kind of audio. So we are outside. So now we can kind of see the kind of true visuals, and it looks really, really nice, doesn't it? When it goes pop. I like the contrast between still the reds, yellows, and then Joshua has this blues and greens. So it's a nice contrast. So yeah, still just talking about, she's the bigger sister looking after Joshua. she's slightly older than Joshua anyway, but they're pretty much the same year. But when you play this game, it's the harmonica. Yeah, harmonica just gives me this, I don't know, very Studio Ghibli-esque kind of vibes. So I love how the character models look very bright, colourful, and just pop out. It's, mostly modern. But in the background, even they look kind of simplified, kind of modernised. Oh, still with the typical anime eyes. Surprised. Oh. Okay, I think that's Cassius. That's Cassius, yeah. Good morning, Dad. Breakfast is served. It's nice and sheeny hair. Like Falcon should definitely continue with this visuals of the hairstyle going forward. So just talking about the background. So you see the background even don't look technically like high quality, but I think they give a nice kind of classic nostalgia and honours the original visuals. So I think it actually goes well and blends nicely with the modernised character models. So these two essentially, they are braces which they're kind of like, they're not mercenaries, but they're more like, I guess, helpers, part of this bracer guild, and they help to fight off monsters and protect the, the community, the town, city that the region that they're in. So many different braces, where Joshua's kind of like, studious, more, academic student, a bit more responsible compared to Estelle, where even though she, her studies are a bit weak, she always tries her best, and she puts a lot of passion and enthusiasm into what she does. So it's a nice contrast between the two characters. So I think all these characters that you meet on the way are very likeable. Well, for me so far, even NPCs. Ruined Style, Steam Fish, Balsamic. That sounds absolutely delicious. No idea. But gives me an idea to try something like that to cook in real life. So like I said, this intro can be a bit long. So what I'll probably do is I will select the different chapters for this video, and then feel free to skip to different parts, and I will probably most likely just skip fast forward to bits that they need to be seen again, like grinding or fighting, because I don't think you need to see that over and over. Okay, so now we can navigate and do a bit of a tutorial exclamation mark, advanced story, markers, red, green and blue, that shows different events. So, yeah, there's a bit of a tutorial gaming going on here, but, you know, you expected it. It's nice and clear, nice and big, and gives me that classic style. Really brings me back to all different RPGs I used to play back in the days. So I've got different controls here, navigation, and markers going through that. A lot of things are customizable as well, so do take your time. Do take your time to go through every little bit. This is what literally I'm doing here. You can do the very, very important feature, high speed mode. It's just basically like times 2, times 4 speed. You might see a lot of RPGs, especially in the Final Fantasy games. And like every RPG needs to have this high speed, fast speed mode. It just literally helps to reduce a lot of the time, respects the gamer's time, especially when you're leveling up over and over, and just really just helps to, you know, get through those sections quicker, and then concentrate on the actual story or, you know, other side quests that you might be doing. So I really wish that all RPGs, Pokemon even would be a great example, that needs to have this high speed mode just to get through everything quicker. Okay, here's me, just bear with me, I'm just checking out the controls where you can switch between different characters. Pressing L1 I believe. So here's Estelle in a glorious model, 3D model, who equips a staff. It's very, very professional with the staff. And of course you've got the different armor, accessories, you know, very simple at first. So this part is very simple when equipping characters, which is fine. Yeah, it's exactly what you need to. I also love the animation as well, not just from the characters, but like, see when you're just navigating the UI of the menus, it's so satisfying where it is. I know you might think it's not that long, but to me it just really gives an edge to touch. Where like, when you select different like sections or tabs, it lights up or it just moves. It's a bit different to other tabs, if that makes sense. So that it's easy for you to see what you're actually selecting. So to really hit a lot of different statuses, parameters. We can move through this bit, so let's get through this. Your skills. So craft your skills unique to the character, and they take CP or your CP is something basically where you can I think it's called combat points, I believe. You can obviously just regenerate CP by attacking enemies or healing at inns, or you can gather CP through in the overall world to regenerate. So they've got different, well, eventually different costumes. Yeah, so let's just say this game has physics of the hair and the actual character, so make that what you will. We can go through. Okay, so we're back here. Just had a little chat with Dad. also it's worth noting that sometimes, probably about 80 to 90% of the time, you get a second bit of dialogue when you talk to the character again. So it's worth, if you didn't know, in a lot of RPGs you should expect this where you get another different dialogue after you've spoken to them the first time. So it's a nice bit of a story lore, or character profiling, character, just learn a bit more about the character is thinking or the world. Here's me just looking around. Check out this cooker, man. That's a strange looking cooker. So yeah, like this house, I'd love to live in this house actually, to be fair. It's got a nice, very, very cosy and very clean actually. Just so many different furnishings here as well. Well, just the kind of wooden framework of the house and the stone combined just really adds a nice sort of character to the house. A lot of buildings are similar in style like this, but just looks just super chill. So I said before, you can customise your buttons to for each, you can customise everything, which is very, very nice. Just checking the log messages. There's a lot of buttons to try and work out, but once you get the hang of it, then it isn't too bad. Nothing is super complicated. A lot of buttons over there, sort of dedicated commands, and you can heal HP and EP. So yeah, ignore what I said before about the CP. It doesn't regenerate when you rest. You have to attack. It's about HP, obviously it's your hit points, and EP are essentially, or magic points, energy points. They're used for magic spells, or I guess more stronger magic abilities. But we'll find it out later on. And then we've got a big bear here. Estelle's from, of course. Staff, which is strange, not much why there's one there. Maybe it's a spare staff. Go outside, and look at the greens, and the blues, and the reds. So strong, vibrant, but not overly strong. Just it's complemented very well. That's why I really love this world. It's just very nice. I've barely scratched the surface. So another nice touch here is where a lot of, I can't remember a single RPG does this FOV or field of view style where you can just scale it quite close or far depending on your preference. That's why I said this game does have a lot of different options. So yeah, do take your time, work through the options, and I think that will make your experience more enjoyable the way you like it. So I think it's about the sweet spot for me. It's just enough to see wide enough of the environment and close enough to the character. I've kind of players have learned to create multiple save slots for RPGs, because why not? You use the game to its fullest, because sometimes you might make a mistake, or you might either soft or hard lock yourself, and then you can't go back. So if you have only one save data, then you're kind of stuck, and you do not want to restart the game if that ever happens. So it's worth this little tip to use multiple save data where you can. Okay, so I believe I'm eventually going to head out to one last look at these plants, butterflies, see if they're just absolutely beautiful. Alright. And I love character interactions like this. Now we just use L1, toggle dash. Okay. Just like the way everything blends seamlessly. Look how far you can see it into the distance. It's pretty amazing how this engine. It's probably why the developers, they didn't want to create ultra realistic visuals for this game. So having this cel-shaded look and semi kind of stylized environments, semi-realistic, really works, and gives more, allows you to view further distance, see all the different environments and cities, locations that you will eventually visit. So it's nice, it gives you that kind of depth and breadth of what to expect, and it's all pretty much seamless, so you can go from one town to another town all in one path, which you'll find out. Okay, so here's me just testing the jumping and dodging, evading, which is helpful for sure. It's not super essential, but it's worth using this to dodge enemy attacks in real-time battle. We'll go through combat later on when we get to it, but essentially there's two ways to fight with real-time battles, or command-based or turn-based battle. So you can kind of flick, or you switch from real-time to turn-based combat later on when you encounter enemy. So again, we'll go through that later on. Alright, so let's carry on here. So here's me just kind of testing and flexing my attacks. So bear with me whilst I get used to controls. Here, once you do more of these, use the controls, then obviously it becomes like second nature, and you'll be flying through enemies like nothing. Okay. Oh, we found a first chest here. Nice little highlighted chest. We have a tier bomb. Single heal 500 HP. Definitely looks like a place that you just nice walk and wander. It's nice you can, chop up these bushes. Exam. Yeah, personally, I'm not a fan of exams either. I'm not really the best at with exams. I do average, so I can definitely vibe with Estelle here. Let's see, deer balm, a typical potion. I'm just looking at the brickwork of the road, of the trail. See, it's a bit like a flat texture, but it's also got a bit of bump mapping just to give a bit of extra depth to the environment. We are now in the city of Roland, the first city, and there's a lot to explore in this city. Just love the whole vibe and the music, the town music vibe, it just oozes. Still, just not looking forward to studying. But she's ready to tackle. She's good at tackling things head on. So you have to respect someone who does that. So like I said, there's a lot of most of the game is voiced, but there are some parts where it's not voiced, which is a bit jarring. But otherwise, it's mostly fine. So when talking to NPC, as I said, like townspeople or anyone off the road, on the road, they tend to change their dialogue as you progress through the game, which again another nice little touch, and just kind of gives you that sense of like this world is like alive, and they're not just stuck to the same thing, like the same same dialogue the whole way through. So it's nice that these characters, even like the small NPCs, have that bit of extra, I guess, lore to their character. Like the little wooden shelving. What I haven't mentioned yet is I do love the the character portraits for the speech bubbles. So I really like this touch for trails in the sky, and you can see there's a bit of animation of the characters, and just a little bit adds a bit more, again, depth to the whole experience. I do love how the speech bubbles, they kind of follow the whichever character is talking as you pan the camera around. So here we are, just going back outside to explore another private residence apartment. Okay, here we are, so what's through this door? Some more people here. Yuri. Pretty cool hairstyle got here. Husband's off to work. Why she just... Okay, she's like the housewife, so looking after the place. And Lau. Maybe it's like an uncle, or maybe just a worker. Also, it's nice to see some NPCs like walking around and just static and just staying in one spot. find a drop little defense. That'd be nice to increase your stats, defense stats. And we have here 2 squirrels. I thought I'd give a nice little close up of the 2 squirrels. One looks a bit bigger than the other actually. Could be like a mum and son, daughter, I don't know. But yeah, you can tend to see all these little critters scattered about. Birds as well, birds, and as we saw earlier. So I guess I do a lot of these like miners, these husband miners going out to get their bread, work, come back and see their family. So I guess it's pretty much like the mining city. So let's come back outside here and see what we have. It's a nice little interconnecting bridge on the 2nd floor, or 1st floor. And let's talk to our man. So it's like he's trying to realize this girl here, trying to pluck up the courage to ask her out. So just adding all these little, assets, these crates, boxes, pots, all this stuff just adds a bit more character. Oh, this is like the Orbital Factory, right? So the Orbital Factory, which we'll get into later on. Essentially, like think of it like I don't know if they were like a bell or something like that, but Orbital is like some device where you can attach quartz, like the crystals, to gain, skills or buff your stats, just to obviously help your character develop. So yeah, I'm just like, I think it's just an invitation to camera and see how the dialogue rotates around the character. And we have Melda's Estelle with emote expression there. I mean, look at this Orbital Factory, it's cool. When you like to work in this little factory. Joshua just half complimenting or sarcastic compliment to Estelle. Yeah, I love how the portraits, character portraits, they match the expressions and matches the character as well, if you notice. So if the portrait's like, giving off like a happy or sad reaction, then it'll match the 3D model expression as well, which is a nice little touch that I don't think I've seen it in other JRPGs. I don't recall seeing this for, at least not for the last, I don't know, good few years that I've played the JRPGs. Yeah, again you get all this little interaction with NPCs as well as you go through the town, and that's okay. So in here we have some cool like armor, weaponry shop. This is Elga, little very suave moustache. Estelle, on the other hand, you'd be rather careless at a sigillant, not to say back then. So obviously Estelle's very familiar with a lot of the labels. Here we've got the little tutorial of the shops, the shop icon. Nice to have that. different equipment with my very pitiful mirror or money, so I can only afford the spikes for now. Everything else is something to consider later on. So I believe I'll get one spike for now, spike shoes, and this is nice. Instantly equip it to a character once you bought it, so don't have to come back out to the menu, equip it, just instantly whilst you're in the shop. You can see the different the increase as well, move speed and ADF, which remember I think it's something defense. Can't remember exactly what it means. Strength defense. I think something to do with actions. Okay, so heading upstairs, see what's around here. Let's talk to the wife, I think. Or maybe maybe a sibling, to be fair. Because Stella was kind of like a carer, or like a really bigger sister to Estelle when she was younger. So, someone she looked after. This Stella. You're a young woman now, not to care. It's about time to play the part. It's like present yourself. See, I love all these like cheeky, charming dialogues between different NPCs. See how it's kind of paint the picture of Estelle's relationship with the different locals that she knows throughout her childhood. So coming outside, let's see where we should go now. We'll check out this little cat here. It's another animal. Black cat, looks like he's either going for apples or he's just standing there doing nothing. Look at this, little products on display. And the general goods store. Let's see what we can shop for. What stock have we got in store? So we need a copy of the Liberl News newspaper for Dad. So I guess we'll have to come back later because I don't have it in stock at the moment. We'll have to do our training, come back later on. Let's see what we have in store at the moment. Deer Barnes EP charge. We can always come back. Let's check out what these China plates. And upstairs we have Bloom. Now then start some watering. Look after the plants, very nice. Okay, let's come outside. What's on this balcony? Oh, we have found a water zleepy. Again, these zleepys are like little crystals. Oh, and there's a squirrel in the bucket there. Had to obviously focus on that. Yeah, the zleepys are obviously like little crystals that you have to synthesize to create the quartz to then use this to attach to the orbital device we have. Alright, so where have we not been yet? Let's come around this side. It's like I think it's like the church. shadows of the trees casting down on and characters as well. It's just a nice soft dynamic lighting. Just a nice little bloom effect. Just feels very nice and just easy on your eye. Everything looks so cozy, right? Just checking out the map to see what else. So we have the chapel here, for the chapel. Even the chapel looks very nice. All classically. Light that's shining through the windows. Mylene and her father Divine. Very interesting name. But I suppose that makes sense. Still some time to almost. Even just looking at some of the texture work, you can see that crest on the front. Sometimes you don't know these little details until you focus. Like, you see that the rock there. The rock has nice texture quality. System A. Let's take a look upstairs. Okay, on the number scroll here, this city has a lot of scrolls, just I feel like the scroll is like the mascot of the city. Okay, now come to this part here. Gorgeous, look at the river there. It's nice. You just sit here, stand, look at the water all day. So nice. It gives me the goosebumps. So we have a private residence here. Nice. I think it's the biggest. I think it's the mayor's residence here. I think it's cool. Wow, look at the garden even. The plants. Item, a fearless balm, revive item, always handy to have a revive. So I was having a look at the UI here, just seeing the bottom left, you've got a map, right, got the characters, the HP, EP, Rita, Maid Rita. This is the manor. Very nice, cozy residence. Here is Mayor Klaus. Don't know how old he is, but it's quite decent for his age, so looks quite youthful. Just look through all these different rooms, see what else is up here. We've got some crates, pots, nothing of interest down up here. So let's make our way outside. Yeah, you want to the balcony. That'd be a nice little section to come out, relax to. Okay, let's make our way back into the main city. Now we'll be heading towards Hotel Rodent. Dapper gentleman there. There's the receptionist. Vern. See, these NPCs, they feel like, like people that you've known for a while, because just the way they interact with Estelle, they have that relationship kind of established. Okay, then mind us, we're just gonna head into your guest room. This part, I wonder why there's like massive buttons for the bath. I mean, it's kind of cool, but it gives a very kind of steampunk kind of feel. I don't know. Like steam, like steam age. All these like big buttons activate. Okay, this huge thing is like a clock tower. Just going to chat to these two kids, Luke and Pat. I'm sure they're brothers or just good friends. And old lady just relaxing on the bench reading a book. So going towards the north side, towards our landing port. After this part, actually, this bit's kind of nice, very nice, relaxing. It just looks super clean. Flammable materials and dangerous items strictly prohibited. It's Alan. I think he's wouldn't say a womanizer, but he just appreciates, beautiful women. So he says he's got a lot of time on his hands, so he has to somehow make his day worthwhile. Appreciate the finer things in life. So he's got one worker here. It's like he's late to work, so he's got to step up and make time for it. And I'm just like, obviously just checking all the corners, see if there's anything that's worth finding any items in. Unfortunately, that's locked only for employees anyway, so now there's another worker there. Interested in Control Tower. Wonder if we'll come back here to revisit. There's nothing here. I can't like these floorboards. Just the colour and the layout. Make our way back down and let's come back to the main hub before grabbing this zip of mass. Zip of mass is, I think it's just clumps of zip that have no use apart from just selling and gaining more money. So let's come back this way, as we can't head through that yet. We need to finish our training, which we should get to fairly shortly. Cruise. So she wants to be a female reporter. I wonder if some of these NPCs we get to revisit in later games. There must be some NPCs that are, like that. And then they'll be older. I think that would be quite a nice touch. Especially the more kind of prominent NPCs, the ones a bit more important. Let's head to the bar and see what's in here. Okay, looks like it's at least. So we're not dating, we're siblings, not by blood. Yeah, see, it's nice how to hear dialogue, like interaction changes, like it's not all speech bubbles. It depends on the cutscene, so there's a static background and the way it switches up. Here's the barman. So just got food, but no drinks, which is a bit strange for a bar. Okay, back in the kitchen, we have the chef Denzel. The wholesome pasta. A lot of products in here. Okay, so back outside. See what's up, sir. Second floor. Okay, let's hit the second floor. Would have thought they called it first floor, as you have ground floor and first floor, but fair enough. Okay, I guess Deborah looks after the books. She's the accountant. Okay, I'm gonna head to what's the clock tower now. Oh man, Pandu. Naughty girl, clever boy, because displaced. Okay, so I guess it's the watchman of the clock tower. Yep, and now we can climb this clock tower. This observation deck. Okay, it still seems not quite infused, but it's a lovely observation deck. So you can see get a nice 360 view of the city. Look at this. It's just like, look at this. You see everything as far as I can see. And I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure most of everything you see, you can visit. As far as I can tell in my current playthrough. It's pretty crazy that Falcon were able to achieve this. Look at that too. Alright, we need to head into training. So head into the guild now. So now we have Aina. This is Aina. Exciting stuff. Time for some training. So ready to. So little tips here. Just in case you didn't know. But ready to sort that out. So now we have this tarot reading woman, Shira. And yes, she will be a playable character. Actually, she's quite a cool character to play as. And she wields a whip, which you can see appropriate. But yeah, I think she's got a good range. The weapon. So she's kind of like, she's a very experienced bracer. Estelle is super energetic. I do like Sherazad's design as well, the costume, the outfit, the colour scheme. It works really well for her. the silver, they tend to be the most powerful, probably one of the most powerful characters in the series. I think Charizard, she's kind of epitomises that in some sense. So I think I can see why Charizard is a bit of a fan favourite. So he's going to guide us, teach us, tell us what we need to do. So know about ornaments, I said before, ornaments, devices, and they use the quartz, it's like these crystallised form. So at first I was a little bit confused at first, but it wasn't too bad once I get used to it. These quartz help to power, so like these steam, engines, just power a lot of devices that these people use in their lives. Razors are, professionals, help keep the peace, protect civilians, and combat specialists, like I said before, to help, fight off monsters that are, terrorising villages, etc. And razors help the communities prevent crimes or find, lost items, escorting duties. They might do small duties like that, big or small. It shouldn't be a matter. A bit more about the Razor Guild. This kind of presentation is nice. Branches across the entire continent. I wonder how big this continent is. So that's why there's a brazier shortage. They are hiring a lot at the moment. And it's our kingdom, west side of the Silurian continent. Look at this. They just like these visuals, just like the way he's presented it, something like that. As like a big map or poster on the wall. Technological leader. All methodology is also important as said in the upper liberal defend independence with neighbouring nations. When we were invaded 10 years ago by the Erebonian Empire, it was all ancient measures that ultimately saved the kingdom. Relations to the empire at the top remain strained. Greatnesses, so she helps to keep the peace. So I guess we pretty much know the empire is the bad guys. It's time for you to get out and do some physical work. You're ready to go. Guess we're all ready for nothing. Look at all these animations, so smooth. If I didn't, gush enough before, all the animations and characters do. Oh, so also, obviously you can't hear it, but it's a part where you don't hear the voiceovers, which is very odd. Even though it is like part of the main story, so I would have thought they would include this. So it's strange where, like, these sections where there's no voice. It's only mainly in the main cutscenes where you hear the voice. But sometimes it can vary, so very strange. So we've got a nice little record book. Basically where we can So just to log any, report anything of importance. Also, we get a bestiary, like a monster record book. We've got a job board here as well, just coming around here. This way, it's kind of like a Monster Hunter of Final Fantasy 12 job board. We come back to this every now and then, and obviously get more requests from people. If it's part of the story or it's other side quest that you want to make sure you keep notes, and there are the duration as well, or a deadline. Again, yeah, we've got a nice little shortcut here, R1 and circle to open the notebook. It's nice to kind of keep track of what we get and what we need to complete. So nice little stats here. So history of notes, and then we've got requests from Roland or other nations as well. So do like this part, it's good. See, although everything kind of looks simplified at first, there's a lot more depth and it does get a bit more complex as you progress, but not overly complex. And I think there's also the UI is super slick as well. Just the way it keeps you engaged. Just the way Persona games have a super slick UI as well. Just to get through all the different features and gameplay mechanics. So a good UI can obviously help you to navigate menus better, right? Okay, just a little bit more about orbits, some machines, different effects. As you can get from the definition, lights and iron streets along the edges, effects on tactical orbits. As I said before, it helps buff your abilities. So yes, orbits, each character has unique orbits, as in like the way they have different paths. One might be more like a linear path, or one might have might split off depending on the character. See, orbital art is a form of magic which uses the EP. So it can be quite powerful, but obviously using the magic and which you'll see later, it can it delays the move, so you might need to wait a turn, like the enemy to attack before you use it. Seven are the fragments of Septium. 7 types, 7 colours. It's kind of like related elements of fire, water, earth, etc. And there's 7 of mass. 7 is used in exchange for money. So do you sell your 7 mass when you find some, and then quartz are crystallized forms of the 7, which are basically like material from Final Fantasy. Just think of them like just orbs that give you abilities. It's nice, generous 50 each type of sepith. essentials login, accept. So yes, I guess some characters will have only you can only use a unique elemental quartz. So Joshua can only use time quartz in a specific slot, which we'll find out later on. I didn't know about this exactly yet until maybe a couple of hours later. But yeah, it'll be easy to see when you kind of get into the actual menu. It's a handy shop where you can help to shop out to synthesize quartz here. So again, this tutorial just tells us how to synthesize a mind 1 action 1. So we should need 50 Sepith to create this mind 1. So we got the basic buff of ADS plus 5%. Defense plus 5. Speed. So we'll create that. Alright, that's good. Not sure we can create anything else for now. And of course we can go straight to the augments, the main menu. There is a shortcut as well for this, but we'll get to that later. So here are, well, here's the tutorial for the augments. You see the engraved lines here. So this might be confusing at first, but it's not too bad. You can see at the bottom right there's a bit where it says a line which shows you the combined quartz that you have. The line 1, line 2. Really, it's when you kind of mess about with it, then yeah, you'll understand, and it's not that hard, it's not difficult, you have to just kind of read carefully exactly how this works. So for now, we can equip either mind 1 or action 1. So I'll just equip the mind 1 to Estelle, give it a tier aqua bleed abilities. And action 1 to Josh. So I guess Estelle is essentially my healer at this stage. But I do try to give, I guess, characters one healing spell, or at least I have like 2 healers, or 2 characters who have a healing abilities, just in case one gets knocked out. So it's always good to have at least 2 healers, I'd say, in JRPG. Otherwise you'll be in a very difficult situation if one character dies, then yeah, you have to obviously try to win the fight, or it's going to be a bit of a struggle, right? Okay, so Sepith as well, so we can also open up a new slot. I don't know if, so you can see here we get locked slots, which we do have to use Sepith to unlock these slots. So I do wonder if we get additional slots later on, or it expands out. So it'd be interesting to know. Otherwise, yeah, you can get quite powerful early on, I'd say. Okay, let's have a look. So we're going to go into, we just need to open up a new slot, I'd say. I've come features our EP and ADS, which is arts stream. Okay, that is the end of this tutorial of the system. Estelle's brain is like a sieve. Oh, and she loves the food, of course, so that's fair enough. Don't blame her. Oh, off she goes. Charge will save me. So I like this kind of comedic moments. I did one in the, if in the classic Trials game, must be a lot more, like, I think a lot more uncensorship, a lot more comedy. Okay, now back to voice. A bit of voice over show start. So now we're going to start our first training. So it's not really a test. So our first exam will start in the sewers. So we're going to be fighting monsters in here. Estelle is super relieved. Fair enough. Switching nostalgia. Yeah, see, this kind of, I feel like from this point where I've kind of like Estelle's voice, kind of just suit her pretty well. Some people might find it grating, but I think it actually works quite well. Alright, so are we going to get into it? Not yet. So let's come down the manhole. Or this opening down. Let's come in on this little linear dungeon like location. Okay, sure, so it's going to give us some items, tear bomb and antidote, and a combat handbook. So this is our bestiary to look at different enemies. Yes, that's correct. Exactly. Make sure. Alright, we're about to head in. So, get ready to rumble. Here we are, relatives to his, and of course, our first mission as trainee praises. Let's save before we head into the thick of it. This is an interesting device where it's an ornament charging station. Essentially heals all your HP and EP if you need to, rest up and come back, recharge, and get back into the action. So here we are, our first battle. A couple of rats. Alright, so now we have the real-time combat where press square for repeated attacks. Simple 1, 2, 3 combo. So just circling around the enemy to avoid getting hit. So you can use X to dodge, evade, and do perfect dodge. So you can move back, forward, or to the side. It's nice. So perfect dodge allows you to. So once you perfect dodge, you can then attack with square to do a stun damage on the enemy, and that helps you to initiate an advantage if you switch to the turn-based combat. As I said, the more you get into it, the further battles, you'll get used to it. I love this called is different enemy, weaknesses, what they drop. Also about the enemy, what their kind of their little history. It's nice. I do like a good bestiary. Yeah, it's nice layout here. Nice and simple. Everything is laid out on one page. Alright, let's go for this. I've got to mention that the sewer looks pretty clean for a sewer. It's got a very nice sewer. So, this rodent keeps their sewage system in a pretty good nick. Okay, so from here I'm just changing the settings. Can't remember exactly what I was doing. I think I was just seeing if I could do like also targeting. I never changed anything, but yeah, you can always just change the way you auto lock onto enemies if you wish. I've always kept it as manual-ish for now. Alright, second battle now with a third rat. So you can dodge, just simply pressing X and press square or circle depending on your attack. Your basic attack button is. So you can't do any spells in outside the battle. Just a simple attack. See, low level enemies like this, like low level fodder enemies like this, you can easily dispatch in real time. So this way you go from quick battle to command battle. So press circle and now we're in the command battle. So it's kind of like a more traditional-esque JRPG, turn-based-esque command battles where you take turns depending on your speed of the character. And I don't know why, but I'm not sure why circle became attack, but it is what it is. I think it's the way the UI is always been set, that's why. But so you use cross with triangle. Essentially, these are the unique skills for per character. Uses a zleepy, which you can then, as I said before, recover by attacking or taking damage from enemies. And some crafts. So I like this little mechanic here, where depending on your position to enemy and the skill that you use, you can get maybe additional damage or a different buff. And this tutorial is nice where it just highlights what it wants you to focus on. So here we're going to use our craft attack, a dual strike with Joshua. And you can see here the impede, so we did a back attack bonus. So if you can get behind the enemy with this craft, then you can get a bit of extra damage, I believe. Perhaps I think maybe CP recovery, but yeah, essentially you're trying to do the most damage you can to an enemy to stun them. Looking at the purple meter, and then once it's stunned, you can then do a follow-up attack, which is like this brave attack basically. And then you just press the circle button again, and then this is kind of the main combat loop. It does get pretty addictive once you get used to it, and then you can just fly through battles fairly smoothly and quickly. So this kind of like positional attacks it's a kind of like Chrono Trigger-esque as well, right? So it's nice. Of course, you get the battle results afterwards, which you can have a look at. So it's a nice touch. So yeah, you can always come back to it if you've missed. Yeah, that's cool. And of course, you can just look into your playback, previous messages. Didn't get any drop items, just some sepith. So depending on how you do, you can get extra bonuses. And there we go, you've got some monster horn, monster bone drops as well. Depending on if you get like a nice perfect result. So it's well worth trying to do, the best you can in the battle. Maybe to try to get no hits, no damage to yourself. And we get a nice little chest here. Yeah, just a decoy treasure. Again, nice to get these little funny comments here and there. So now let's talk about the arts. So the arts are essentially your magic attacks. Using your uses your EP. So of course it uses your orbital arts. This is where, as I said before, the orbital system is integral to obviously using magic attacks. And of course you can use it takes time to cast these magics. Just be mindful of that. But enemies that are very weak to magic, then you have to use magic, otherwise you could be all day attacking and not get anywhere. And you've got a nice little chart here. Chart with the elements that the enemy is weak to: water, fire, earth, or air. I think green's air. Okay, so you can see here, aqua bleed, weak. There's a weak text, and the enemy says weak there as well. And you can switch between different enemies, so it's nice. So I like how everything's laid out, and there's a little glowy, whatever's glowing, and that obviously shows you what you're selecting. So it's nice, and definitely this RPG is very good for a beginner, for sure. Also just lends nicely to the whole kind of visuals and colourful, vibrant visual elements. You also got to be mindful of where your characters are positioned to each other as well, because each character has their own individual ring where they are limited to a certain within that space. So if two characters are spaced further apart, then you might not get the range you need. It all makes sense once you experiment and go for a handful of battles. Okay, let's continue on. See, this door is rusted. No way to get through there, so let's come through. Follow this linear path to a bunch of So you can dodge with X and then just press triangle to do a big damage attack. And then this will stun the enemy, I think 100% of the time. And perfect dodge fully recovers the charge gauge. So you see here, once this happens, then you get the party advantage. And then you can initiate a follow-up attack straight after, which is cool. And just a quick sort of control scheme here. So again, you can just press R1 to switch menus. So you can items, cards, or retreat. So it switches out or in, depending on if you hold R1. That's nice and snappy. But yeah, I think it comes together quite nicely. And later you'll see the overdrive, which comes later on. Support abilities allows you to acquire. So as you level up, then the characters may help you, especially when defending against attacks. Okay, so now I'm going to use a hurricane as a side attack bonus. So I'm just trying to so I guess I can guard if I want to by pressing R1 and circle. Half damages, but I don't think I need to guard at this point. So you can switch out R1 quite easily. So use L2 to access some information, check any sort of status damage on the character. So nothing yet, of course. And you can see how we're doing. So we can do assess when you're starting off a game, right? Just take your time if you need, or if you have the time to assess what you can do. Dirty rat. These rats have big horns. Wow. Okay, it's very nice AoE damage. Good to try and get a side attack bonus though. Okay, Joshua is poisoned now by a dirty rat. So let's see what we can do next. So I think this point I can try to use my craft. Or I might try to use some magic against Garfies. See, sometimes if you miss it, the enemy will counter, so it's good to try to use the most effective attack. Alright, so I can use answer. So you can see it's delayed command. And sometimes if the enemy has moved out the way and use an attack that is it's about to hit a specific spot, then it's obviously going to miss that enemy because they've moved out of the way. Alright. So sometimes you've got to be aware of these little things, otherwise it will come back to bite you. So that's quite one hit KO. It's smoothly done, So Joshua needs a bit of healing up for sure. I'm going to use our tear. Lovely drops here. Let's move on to the last section, I believe. This will be the boss. Big dirty rat in the corner. What's good is also that you can save anywhere as well, which is pretty handy. So when it comes to bosses, it always switches to command-based battle. So you're noticing these little icons pop up on the left side next to the enemy icon or the character icon. This states any bonuses you get. Yeah, I mean it's a few, but it's not too bad once you get used to what they all mean. But yeah, I feel like Zero Arts is very useful. Zero Arts, you can instantly cast arts without using any EP, and it's there's no delay. It just literally uses it instantly. So definitely try to get Zero Arts if you can, where possible. So it says that you want to try to focus on enemies that have the icons to steal it off them, and then you get that advantage. Otherwise, if you don't kind of take advantage of this, then you're going to be missing out, and that enemy's obviously they're going to use it against you. So do try to focus on this part. So we have Joshua. Let's see what we can do here. So normally I try to take out weaker mobs first, so that less enemies should mean less chance, less damage overall, right? Which means you should get more turns. So I'm just kind of reading back on the little tips sheets. So it's good to have these tips, I think, in battle. So sometimes, I think in RPGs, when there's a lot going on, if you get things, it's good to have these help system that you might forget. Okay, so I'm trying to use the backbone is just to, and I'll miss it, unfortunately. Dual strike is good for impede. I think impede means basically if an enemy is about to do like a big attack, like they're turning red, they're flashing, use impede to kind of stop them raging, basically. Okay, so another mechanic is the chain here. So the little meter there on the bottom right, the 5. So you got 5 tabs, I guess. So critical. Now you use chain. Chain basically does a bigger follow-up attack with 2 characters. So you want to try and get your meter here. So now it's 3. I think you normally need at least 2 to do 2 characters. Okay, this time I feel like try and use dual strike again. Hopefully we'll hit the enemy this time. Alright, perfect. Go. Okay, when you're on kind of critical status like this, still HP is very low. You did change this kind of jazzy theme. It's kind of cool. Violin is a bit more quicker, so it gives you that it's like an urgent music bit. That's really cool. Okay, so now I've got my aqua blade. Okay, now we just focus on the Raptor Chief boss. So I think with the exclamation mark, which means it should do a critical attack on the at this point I should have done the close to the character to revive them, so you can't just revive anywhere. And now back to battle mode, so let's try and use our soul blur. Okay, so obviously I can't use hurricane because I don't have enough CP, I believe. Yeah, so I've got 0 CP, that's why. You can see that in your, just under the character portrait on the right, your CP meter. See, Esther got 10, Esther's got 10, and Joshua's got 193 CP. So, everything's on display, so it's up to you to just pay attention and, you know, manage your meters, as it were. Everything's like nice and smooth and snappy as well in the combat here, so that's why nothing feels like a chore. It's very engaging as well. Got to follow attacks, so chain attacks. That's why there's kind of a lot going on, but then actually it's actually quite, everything flows really nicely. And now Ratchet is stunned, so just need to finish it off with I don't know what you say. I think I do use it Outward Bleed. Basically my health is, you know, it's just over half, so it's not too bad. Enemy is stunned as well, so essentially you've got a free turn. And now is, there we go, it explodes into shiny sparkles. I've got some new crafts there for each character. Now it's time to open the treasure chest. A small box. What is it? A small box. 2 boxes. Now, why are there 2? Interesting. This is where Joshua has he's more the responsible type. Unless if Joshua wasn't there, Estelle would have peeked into the boxes. But of course, this is a test. So it's nice Joshua's there to kind of be the more responsible type. And although in a way, I guess it will help to build Estelle's character and kind of teach her to be responsible, right? Understand what the situation is. Okay, I'm gonna head back now. Cheeky Joshua. And now let's make our way back. We can fight his enemies if you want to, but I think I just might. Yeah, just some quick leveling up. Might as well, it's quite quick anyway. Level 2. Also, just you know, practice as well, right? Okay, yeah, and then once again, these enemies are weak to magic attacks or arts, so. Alright, it's time to get rid of these quickly. Weakness striker. Nice, 552. Get out of there. Alright, let's keep it up and keep going. And we can just heal here, why not? Don't think it matters too much. You never know. But let's head back now. Back into daylight. Alright, Cheryl, we're back. So boxes just for you. That's right. I mean, we weren't going to pick into the boxes. Yep, easy as pie. What is inside these boxes? Oh, good you say. So yeah, I think this mini dungeon is very satisfying. And the more I've played, the more I kind of get into it. This game can like really hook you. Definitely had to hook me from the start. Alright, now we're back into the guild. So once you finish a mission or a quest, come back to the guild, report it, and then you get results. And what's good about this game, of course, fast travel, as in a lot of modern games, fast travel has been also another godsend in gaming, right? I'm pretty sure in the old game, in the original game, there wasn't any fast travel, so it would have been a bit of a slog. Not sure if there was or not, but in this game there is fast travel. So you can always come back and forth, going between towns, cities, other areas with really relative ease. And these are the ranks you need to get to. You get to rank 1 to get the different rewards. So no issues here. Finished our report. Finished our mission even. So of course this is the start of our racer adventure. Okay, so I believe we're going to go upstairs and we're going to be rewarded with find out what happens. Let's see, we're back upstairs now. Thank you, Sherazad. Okay, so we have the 2 boxes. Now what's in here? Yes, please. What's in the boxes? Okay. What's inside here? We have medals or emblems. So we are bracers, official bracers. Okay, congratulations to us both. Now we are. It's now going to officially license junior bracers for now. So this is the start of our venture. Now we can get into more quests, and we did it. Thanks, Cheryl. So find out about Cassius is obviously is the top bracer. Alright, so that's the end of Steam Sheriff for now. guys enjoyed this, and yeah, if you like this sort of thing, then I plan to do like a series of this, and then yeah, just for your viewing or relaxing pleasure. But yeah, hopefully you guys got this far, and remember to consider liking and subscribing to my channel. And once again, guys, stay safe, my friends. Take it easy and stay sleepy.